Hello and welcome back to StarCraft, and today we're going to be playing around with Nova's strongest units. In fact, we're going to be abusing the living daylights out of them, because a lot of you guys know the Nova Holo Decoy. It's a unit that was relatively recently unlocked, so we can have more than one of them, and frankly, there's not a whole lot of players that know how to deal with them. And, well, they're quite strong. They're very, very strong, in fact, and they usually require some kind of special attention to deal with them. So we're just gonna spam out a bunch of them and watch our poor opponents struggle and suffer trying to deal with them all. So, you know, it's just fun to see a bunch of extraordinarily strong units just walk across the field and slash everything to pieces. Well, to be fair, I do really like the design of the unit. It's quite interesting. It's a melee unit with a charge attack that does AoE, and then, well, one standard slash attack that just kind of hits everything for 100 damage and makes all the things in front of it fall apart. Now, I realize that doing what I'm doing now isn't going to be the greatest for the team, because what I'm going to be doing now is going straight to tier 3 and trying to put these guys down. But, you know, that's a great way to make sure that we lose the middle bonus and kind of mess up the team a little bit. So we're really counting on these units to carry us and the team after we suffer some drawbacks of rushing straight to tier 3 in order to field them. Now, of course, we could do things like build up an entire wave and then slowly mix them in, but where's the fun in that? So we're gonna go straight up to tier 3 and start slapping these guys down. Now, of course, these guys are really expensive, which is not a surprise considering it's Nova. So we're gonna start out a little bit slow and work our way up. But for now, let's get to tech level 3. I'm not entirely sure just yet who we're facing off against, or at least rather what strategy he's going to go for. He did have some Zealots, so we're gonna see if he wants to continue with the Zealots. He hasn't gotten his Adepts yet, if he's going to get them at all. So he's probably waiting to see what I'm gonna do. But now that I've hit tech level 3, I have my Nova all nice and stealthed and cloaked. So he's gonna have to get himself up to tech level 2 and invest into some detection of his own. But this time, coming this next wave, we'll be able to spawn our first Holo Decoy. And with it, well, we'll have our chance to crush the dreams and hopes of our counterpart on the other side. Because frankly, he's going to need more than a few Adepts to bring down a Holo Decoy. The Holo Decoys have 1000 HP, 2 armor, and hit for 100 damage every second, which is kind of a lot. So you need to do something special in order to deal with them, and just a couple Zealots or an Archon or something similar is not going to do it. Let's see what our opponent does and see how he reacts to these things. Go ahead and get the next level of the refinery. Looks like he's just gotten himself the Phoenix, which is it's a good idea. It's a good unit. Phoenix is a good unit. Do recommend. It's not going to solve the problem of there being a Holo Decoy. You can see the ability that does the AoE damage. Holo Decoys, because they deal 100 damage to a single target, usually work pretty well versus things like the Phoenix or other heroic units. He does have airborne options to help deal with my my Holo Decoy shenanigans, but I don't think he's going to be able to find a solution anytime soon. Or at least I'm hoping on it and kind of counting on it, because if he finds a solution and starts dealing with my Holo Decoys, I'm going to be in a bad way. As everyone does have their abilities to deal with them. It's just a matter of whether or not my counterpart figures it out in time before he gets overrun. We'll go ahead and get our second Holo Decoy down. There we go. And now we can suddenly start pushing across the field. Now remember, because we have so much HP, we can just kind of sit on top of their base for a long time. Oh, he switched over to Melee Phoenix. I'm not sure that's the better option. Melee Phoenix doesn't have better DPS than Dragoon Phoenix. So he's not, while he does have this ability that will work versus the Melee, he's not going to deal as much damage as the Dragoon Phoenix would to my Holo Decoys, leaving my dudes with more HP. Let's see, they have detection? I think we're in range of the photon cannon. Either that or he has an observer, but I don't see the observer anywhere. So I don't think he has an observer. We're just within range of the cannon. We should be able to get one more Holo Decoy this next round. Then come in with 3. And let's see how he reacts. So he knows I'm going for Holo Decoys. I've gone straight up to them, and I've started to march across the field with them, and he hasn't dealt with them just yet. Let's see if we can... Ooh, my teammates are getting wiped out here. Yeah, there's an observer there. Let me go ahead and get the ghost visor. That way I can snipe down the observer. Not that it's a terribly big concern. Nova is my only stealth unit right now. But should I desire to change that around? It looks like he's getting some adepts and an immortal. Immortals are definitely not the counter. They only deal 20 damage per second to these guys. Because remember, these guys are biological. They're not armored. They're not mechanical. So things like the immortal just aren't going to DPS them down. In fact, the holo decoys are pretty much the hardest counter to immortals available to Nova, except for maybe the liberators, but I don't know if that counts as cheating because liberators fly. Do I want to get up another refinery? You know what? Let's just make sure I've thrown the team under the bus as much as possible for full meme reasons and go triple gas almost as fast as possible. We're pretty much auto gassed at this point. But you know what? It means we're going to be able to get out more and more holo decoys. One thing that's really funny about the holo decoys is that a lot of people don't know how to deal with them. Sometimes they'll just say, hey, I'm just going to go for aircraft, things like carriers or whatnot. And, well, carriers don't deal with holo decoys that well. Just by virtue of the holo decoys, ignore them. Because holo decoys can't hit air units, so it ends up with the carriers just kind of floating above the decoys for as long as possible. And, never actually dealing damage or never actually fully dealing with the decoys. The decoys just walk across the map and slaughter everything on the ground, which is not a viable solution. You don't want to lose your ground and the ground of the next wave and your turret and your base while they're at it, just because, you know, you have a cheap and easy counter, or quote-unquote counter to the holo decoys. You need to be able to deal a little bit more DPS and actually burn the decoys down, which is kind of the trick to him, because they have so much HP. But, you know, I'm sure he'll be able to figure it out sooner or later. Let us see. How is this going? Actually, surprisingly well, all things considering. It looks like this player's going to go with a lot of splash damage. Already has the High Templars out, so we're going to be seeing some serious storms out of him. Teammates starting to take the first wave. It looks like he's moved back to Phoenix on the DPS form, which is good. Adepts to tank, which is also good because they take a couple hits, and also there's a lot of them. They're cheap, but not quite enough to deal with the decoys. Got one of them down, but now we're gonna have 5, and that's kind of a lot. Now, fortunately for my opponent, and unfortunately for me, the holo decoys cannot be upgraded in any way, so all of these will be not useful for me. Eventually, I'm going to have to start mixing up my units, obviously, because I need things like air support at some point, and I'm going to be able to provide all of that. But with with all of these decoys, I mean, everything that's heroic or has a large HP pool is just going to disappear. And I'll have tanking for days, not only for my wave, but for the next wave behind me, and so forth, so on. Like, these things are brutal, and we're just spamming them down every which way. Alright, we have another wave coming up here. Let's see if we can slaughter them all. I kind of want to get a ghost, just so it starts taking down the observers. But then again, despite the holo decoys looking invisible, they aren't actually invisible. The only invisible unit I have is Nova. Let's see. Nope. Mirages can't lift holo decoys because holo decoys are considered. What are they? It's heroic, right? Yes, they are considered heroic, so they cannot be lifted. So there's no special CC or ability that you can do to cheese them out, if you would call it that. You have to just straight up beat them down. Let's see if he can figure it out. He hasn't figured it out just yet. A lot of times things like Tempests are okay, assuming you have a frontline that can tank for days. Honestly, just mass adept works decently well, just because you can get massive amounts of adepts, and it takes forever for holo decoys to slowly work through them. Especially if you have something like carrier support or something like Phoenix Dragoon. Did he switch back again? I mean, he's just going back and forth. I think he's... You can see it in his brain trying to figure out which is going to work better. Dragoon Phoenix will work better. You can't just not deal the DPS. Like, I think at this point he's trying to say, hey, the melee Phoenix is gonna put in the work, or at least tank, so the rest of the units can do for it. But you really do need the DPS. Come on. These guys are doing well versus me, but mostly because they have an ability that does 200 damage to the first target they see. And because he's got a whole line of them, he's able to burn down most, if not all, of my holo decoys. Well, no, he's not going to be able to burn down all of them, but he's going to be able to burn down a couple of them just right off the bat. And then, you know, Immortals are not the most lacking in DPS. But here I come to carry the team with Nova and more Nova. I will slash that up. There it is. There's a Disruptor. Disruptors work decently well. They kind of hurt a lot. And they're spell damage, so there's no mitigation on them. And because my guys are clumping up, the splash damage is going to do a lot of work. And let's see, how is this turning out? Are we winning this? We're going to win, but only because Nova sits in the back and does damage. So he's started to get on top of those. Just the addition of the Disruptors. Good choice. They deal very well versus these kinds of things, especially when they're all clumped up. When he gets to tier 3, the holo decoys are going to do less and less work. But now, the difference is this time I didn't carry the team through the next wave, so there's going to be a little bit of lack here, and we're going to get pushed onto the bunker, which is bad. I could gas again, but I'd rather not just immediately outright lose the game. Slash everything up. Yep. And gone. I think it is time to invest into a couple Liberators. Yes, I think a couple Liberators, or a Liberator or two. As he's starting to build a wave. He's got enough Adepts. But if I get a couple more, I could hit critical mass and then just slaughter him. Maybe. You know what? I think it would be better at this point to get a Liberator, but we could also just get more holo decoys. That could work too. Additionally, I could get another gas and just kind of be like, hey, we're gonna lose more of our stuff, but I don't care because I can get more holo decoys. That is another option, but I don't think that's gonna work. I think we're just gonna outright lose if I do that. I have to get another holo decoy out here. Let's see. That's rough. I'm contemplating the effect of the mirages on the option of going with a Liberator. Good. Alright. Holo decoys not having their dash attack on cooldown when this wave hits is actually getting in the way of things. Yeah, all these Adepts, they're starting to really pile on the damage. There it is. Oh, that hurts. Going libs also. Yeah, I think it is going to be necessary. We're gonna have to put it down if we want to actually stand a chance here. Let's go ahead and put down this guy here. I'll put a Raven down at some points. Right now, Nova is providing sufficient detection. Raven also good for the healing factor, but I don't think necessary at this point. The problem with the Raven is it uses energy, and these high Archons will slaughter everything. Probably I should also get a Ghost or two for EMP reasons. That way we can augment the damage. You need to be... oh, never mind, it's fine. Okay, doing work, getting slaughtered. That's what's happening. Come on. Spin attack works decently well versus... the Phoenix spin attack is starting to do a bit more damage now that my dudes are piled up more. I'm going to scan here just because Nova's further behind and I want to start working down that Disruptor. Thank you. Let's get another Liberator out. Also need to get you immediately upgraded. Let's put the Liberator down first because order matters. There we go. Upgrades, please. Thank you. And head back to the front. We have... there's that Tempest. Tempest don't have the greatest DPS, but they do work pretty well versus single targets. And once you get enough of them stacked up, they kind of one-shot everything. Which is one of the things I'm going to have to be concerned about as we go later and later into the game. But for the moment, we're starting to push forward again. And this Stukov wave is... I should research the team's loadouts and see if I can assist in some manner. Good, you're good. Alright, awesome. Clear out all the ground. Nice. Finish off the air. Very good. These guys are going to die horribly too. Let's get the armor upgrades. That way you can try to take a few hits from the mirages. Alright, you're good. Alright, now you should be able to do some serious damage, or at least take some serious damage. And then in reply, not be able to deal it out because you're Liberator. And you hit like a truck. Alright. There we go. Come on. Keep doing the work. You know you want to. There you go. Hitting for 125 every 1.14 seconds. That's kind of a lot of damage. And you were just pushing through. Very good. I'm gonna get another Liberator. I'm gonna have so many Liberators, guys. The question is whether or not we need to get something for the Scouts. The Nova Goliaths work extremely well versus things like Scouts. Don't know if I need to get them yet. I don't think he has enough Scouts. I think we could just rely on our overabundance of holo decoys, which at this point are sitting on top of his... Oh, never mind. Here come the Annihilators. Are we gonna get it anyways? Holo decoy's so strong! Aha! How many do we have left? We still have 5 of them out in the field slashing away. Oh, jeez. These Zealots are taking so long to die. This Liberator's still here. No, that's a different one. Alright, these are different Liberators. Alright, there you go. There it is. Yeah, let's put down another Liberator. And is this match going to go for another 12.5 minutes? I'm not sure. But you know what? We're going for it. Because go big or go home. In this case, go big or have our base run over. Going to do this. You're going to slaughter something, and then you're going to die horribly to the Scouts because you are alone. Rip Liberator. At least you tried. Let's see... Nope, nope, get liberated. Taste the Freedom Phoenix. He desperately needs that Phoenix to be in Dragoon form. Look at how many holo decoys we have, guys. They're just slicing through everything. All those poor Zealots just going away. That's a lot of mirages. Okay, yeah, I think it is definitely time to get some different anti-air in the mix. But let's get another Raid Liberator. Let's get 5 Raid Liberators, because the splash damage is going to be absurd. And, you know, splash damage works really well versus mirages, which are going to need to deal with, apparently. We still in the middle? Yeah. All these units are on our side, so all our units are still on their side, so despite them crossing the line momentarily, they will not claim the middle bonus for themselves. Uh-oh. I think they're going to claim it now, though. Because our raids are going to die, unless these things manage to stay alive forever, which is not going to happen. Oh, never mind. I'm coming in to save the day. There we go. Slaughter everything, please. You. Alright. Do you have... You have 2 armor. That's going to make the difference. Yeah, I definitely need more ground-to-air DPS here, or more, at least anti-air DPS. No! Carrix with the Beam of Death! It's about to wipe out the mirages. Alright. One more Liberator. And then we'll start investing into some Goliaths. Goliaths have the benefit of locking down any individual unit, so something like Mirages will be locked down. Won't be able to use abilities, won't be able to do anything, so it won't proc this invulnerability thing, and we'll be able to just slaughter it pretty quickly. Same thing with the carriers, which is really good. Yeah, what do you want me to do? Like, I can put it here, but it's not gonna save it for long at all. It's just gonna get them closer. Like, the benefit of having these here is so that things are within range of the planetary fortress and tanking for the planetary fortress, but that's when things are out here shooting at them, it's not that great. I mean, it's fine. Okay, oh dear. Please change targets, please change modes to aircrafts. There we go. Come on. Oh, well, you know what, that's fine. Get healed, just start shooting things. As long as things are dying, everything is good. Alright, time for some Goliaths. You need to be here, here, and here. Start with 3. I could probably get 4 and then start working on the upgrades. What do we need to get both upgrades? It's another 250. We have 4 gas. Let's get a fourth Goliath and then auto cast these guys. And then we'll start getting upgrades for these guys. I think the main benefit, the main reason I want to get these upgrades is to increase the splash damage of our Liberators when they're in anti-air form. You guys have both your abilities yet? No, just one. One. I need all of my Holo Decoys to tank so that my Goliaths can deal their anti-air work. They're getting lifted by the Mirages, which is not a big surprise. That's why I need more of them. Get your lockdowns going, please. Please lock this down before it invulnerables again. Nope, it just died. Lock down, and slaughter everything. There we go. How's this guy looking? Looking obliterated yet? Not quite. 3 Raid Liberators survived that mess. Alright, let's get our upgrades. Oh jeez. Oh jeez, oh my. I'm still not sold on getting a Raven, but a Raven would be able to survive. Or would be able to help make our Liberators survive. But man, Liberator Holo Decoy, this is a disgusting combination. It does so much work, boys, and it tanks so hard. I don't think I want +3 yet, I want additional units. Do I want +3? Yeah, I'm gonna get +3 because my wave just spawns and these guys can help out and we're pushing. So it will help the stack push harder. Alright, let's come in for the cleanup, shall we? Let's clean up all these guys that are trying to break our stack. We have stacking Liberators! Haha! Lock down the things, please. Thank you. No more carrier nonsense for you. Oh, that's more Mirages. Good thing we have splash damage. And upgraded splash damage. How much damage do you do? 16 damage times 2. That's actually not all that much damage. But at least it's splash damage, so you try. Okay. Oh, this Liberator has 6 kills. Yeah, these wraiths are carrying us through the air right now. As much as the Liberators are helping a lot with proccing all of the invulnerabilities, I think it's definitely the wraiths that are providing most of the anti-air. My wave is just tanky enough to survive long enough for my teammates to come in and clean up all those Mirages. Honestly, I'm just happy the Mirages aren't staying for weeks on end per spawn. It's good. And now we're pushing all the way to their base with a pretty heavy wave here. All these infested Diamondbacks, they have a ridiculous amount of DPS, especially against armored like right here, and I think we're just going to win. GG! Alright guys, if you have any wild and crazy strategies that definitely shouldn't work, make sure to stop by the Discord and post them in the StarCraft or suggestions channel. That way we can get some more crazy strategies here that totally don't throw the team under the bus and hoping that it's gonna work out. But for now, I'll see you guys later.